Yeah, what a great spot to hang out, especially on a rainy day and when there are rare events occurring. We're going to tell you about one that's coming up on the 8th and what's new here at the H.R. MacMillan Space Center. We'll be right back. Yeah, a great spot to be in. I don't know when the last time you were here at the H.R. MacMillan Space Center, but for people that haven't been in a while, we're actually have some new things, newer things here.
Totally, yeah. We just revamped the entire Space Center over here. We just got new projectors in. We have 5 IMAX projectors that project all around the dome that we have. And we have the ability to basically be transported anywhere in the universe, anywhere through time and space.
So where are we right now then?
Well, right now we're actually on the surface of the moon, and what you can see over here is the Apollo 11 lunar module. And so all around us, this is the actual surface of the moon as it was taken on the Apollo 11, 15, and 16, and 17 missions.
And for people that make their way here to the Space Center, I mean, it really is an education. There's lots of things to do, and especially as we get the weather like this, you couldn't ask for better, right?
Exactly, yeah. Even though it's raining, we can still see the stars. We can still go anywhere in the universe that we want to.
And there is a relatively rare event that is coming up for us.
Yeah, the lunar eclipse. So we have a total penumbral lunar eclipse, which happens about once every 5 to 10 years. And we'll be able to have a total lunar eclipse here in Vancouver, and that's on the morning of the 8th. And so we're really, really excited here at the Space Center. We get to share that with everyone and kind of fill everyone in on what's happening with that lunar eclipse.
Now, you must have over the summer had a lot of people sort of make their way here. You know, is there something kind of for every age when you make your way here to the Space Center?
Of course, yeah. We have each of our shows is geared, every day we have a show based on the moon, actually. And all of those shows are geared towards all audiences. And so we kind of have the kids elements where they can kind of enjoy the visuals and all of that elements of it, as well as the adult elements where we can talk about more of the science behind it and the astronomy behind all of the things that are happening in space.
What are some of the most common questions that you get?
Get a lot of black hole questions.
Okay.
Lots of black hole questions about what is a black hole.
What is a black hole?
Well, we do have those, basically a super massive object that sucks in or has all of these massive gravitational pull that keeps everything together, basically. We also get a lot of questions about dark matter, dark energy, and the expansion of the universe, and to questions about basic things such as how does the geometry of the solar system work.
Wow, so it's such an education here. I mean, we're just sort of getting a snippet of it this morning. Jody and Riaz, we're going to do everything from planet hunting to making our way to the observatory. For more details on all the things you can do here at the Space Center, you can check out their website. Listen, you know the system. What about the solar system, right? Yeah, that's all just the kinds of things we're learning here at the H.R. MacMillan Space Center. But how do we know what stars are made of if we can't actually travel there? We're going to find out how they do that coming up next. We'll be right back. Verified, yeah, of course. And you know, it's kind of, we're just talking about how Twitter has verified a few of the BT hosts, and poor Riaz didn't get verified yet. One thing we are able to verify are what stars are made of, and it's amazing to think that we can do that without actually being on one.
Exactly, yeah. It's kind of a nifty little trick that we can use without actually traveling the light years that it takes to get to a star.
Okay, so what are you showing us now?
So here's actually a burn test. So this is something that we would use. This is burning cubic chloride, so we're seeing this greenish and then the light blue flame, and so it just talks about the different colors that elements burn. So when we talk about planets and when we talk about stars, here at the Space Center we have a show that's called Planet Hunters. And one of the things that we look at is we look at how things burn, because that's kind of the only information that we're getting from these lights, from the sun as well as from planets. We're getting the colors that we see, and we're getting the elements through the colors that we see, through spectroscopies, through the study of what the light is that's coming towards us.
Very cool. Show us this one.
And so what we have here is we actually have another burn test where...
Whoa, that lets off quite a bit of heat there.
Oh yeah, lots of heat over there. Yeah, we're burning up all of the spray that we have coming over here.
And so based on that, what do we know?
So what we're looking at is we're looking at the reddish coloring in the flame. So there's a reddish greenish color in the flame that you can see, and that means that we're looking at a strontium chloride mixture, basically. Of elements. Okay. So we know what's in this spray bottle just by looking at the flame.
And what about the other spray bottle there?
So over here we have, this is a combination of just general isopropyl alcohol. So we're looking, let me get a stream going. So here we're looking at just that bright flame, yellowy, as you can see, very different from the red. Burns a little brighter, burns a little differently. And so when we look at the light coming from stars, or when we look at planets and how the light is coming from the atmosphere of those planets, we can see what we're looking at and what the elements are without actually going there.
Wow, that is super cool. You can keep doing that because that's just keeping me nice and warm. I kind of wish, Michelle, I would have paid attention a little more in science class. This is the kind of cool stuff I wish I had a chance to do. But of course, you can make your way here to the H.R. MacMillan Space Center and do it all here. Lots of good things to learn here.
Very cool, very cool. Kind of reminds me after a night of spicy food, Dawn.
And just how big is the Earth relative to the sun? In fact, just how big are the planets relative to the sun? We're going to show you that. Plus, you know what? As we go to break, I'm going to just kind of do. I want to touch the moon. Oh my gosh, piece of the moon. Cool. Yeah, perfect place to hang out on a rainy day, actually any day. It's definitely an education this morning. And you know, we've always heard how small we really are. And you actually have a great demo to show us how small we really are.
Yeah, this is our Earth as a Peppercorn demo, and this is something that you can do with at home with your parents, or teachers can do this as well. And it's a really nice demo that just kind of demonstrates the size and the scale of some of the planets that we have in our solar system. So here we have a bunch of different objects here on the table, and we have all the planets lined up. So we have Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars.
Okay, go slow, because we got to be able to. There you go. Okay, so
we have Mercury,
yeah,
Venus, Earth, and Mars. And Mercury and Mars are about the same size, and those are just little pieces of like confetti candy that you put on top.
I didn't want to breathe too heavy and
move them all. They shake a little bit. And Venus and Earth are about the same size, and those are about the size of a peppercorn.
Okay.
In terms of the scale model of this, you know, Mars is about 1/5 of the volume of the Earth, and so that's about an approximate scale. And then we jump to the biggest guy in the solar system, Jupiter, which is about 1.3 thousand times the size of the Earth.
Wow.
So peppercorn to a little bit of like a marble over here. And then we have Saturn, which is about a Mentos-sized object, which you can always just eat afterwards, which is always great. And the interesting thing here is that Saturn is actually squished like that. It actually is elongated along the sides.
Okay.
And so it does a little bit look like a Mentos,
Very cool.
which is kind of cool as well. And then we have our Uranus and Neptune, which are both coffee bean sized. And then back to dwarf planet Pluto. Sadly, he was demoted a couple years ago.
Poor little Pluto.
Poor little guy. But he's about the size of that little piece of candy.
Okay, where's the sun though?
So the sun, in the whole grand scheme of things, is about this big.
Wow.
So when we're talking about comparisons here, the sun is massive in comparison to the entire solar system here. And one thing of note, this does not model the distances between the planets. Here we just kind of evenly space them out just to make it easier to see. If we were to model the distances, Pluto would be about 2 kilometers away.
My goodness, such an education this morning. Great for the entire family here at the H.R. MacMillan Space Center. More details on all the things that they offer, you can check out their website. But we're going to take a little bit of a break. And as we go to break, Nelson, why don't we show the satellite? What will the satellite show us when it comes to weather? We'll have those details coming up next. But check this out. We're here at the H.R. MacMillan Space Center. Here in the observatory, we're bringing out the big toys. Oh yeah, the top 3 space apps as well. Be right back. Great spot for people to be able to catch the lunar eclipse coming up on the 8th, right?
Of course, yeah. We actually will be hosting an event here at our observatory right next to the H.R. MacMillan Space Center at 7 o'clock on the 7th, where we can talk about the event. We'll actually be looking at the moon through our main scope over here. So we have a 1/2 meter Cassegrain reflection telescope right here. Very powerful telescope that we can actually see all the planets and a lot of the globular clusters that are out there. We're actually open every Saturday from 8 until midnight, and it's by donation, so definitely come on down and we can show you guys some of the awesome things that we can see.
That is cool. So this is obviously your big expensive toy here.
Exactly.
But you can also capture pictures as well, right?
Exactly, yeah. Through our scope, you can actually attach a normal DSLR camera, and here are some of the images that we actually have. These are unfiltered, unedited images of Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus. And so you can actually see, on a good night, you can see the ice caps on Mars, you can see the band structure on Jupiter, and definitely one of the most beautiful images I find is Saturn. So you get the rings on Saturn.
That is cool. Now, for anyone out there that is just really intrigued by all things space and astronomy, you have your top 3 apps.
I do. And so my personal favorite app is the Google Sky Maps. And Google Sky Maps is great because you can actually point it at the sky if you have a question about what you're looking at, and you can actually track exactly what you're looking at.
That is cool.
It's a really nice app there. And then I also have an ISS detector, which is another great app if you're interested in looking at the International Space Station. It tells you when the International Space Station, as well as iridium flares and some other objects, are going overhead. It tells you the time, and it actually gives you a compass that you can use that points the direction of where the ISS will be.
Very cool. Your final one.
Final one is a NASA. This is just to keep up to date and current about everything that's happening in space. You can look on here, and it gives you news, it gives you images, tweets, all the information that you need to know and be current about space.
Wow, so it's great information this morning. For more details on all the things that they offer here again at the H.R. MacMillan Space Center, whether it's the observatory nights or making your way inside, check out their website. Lots of things to see. But what will Russ Lacate see when he looks to the skies? Oh, he's got those details. Weather forecast up next on BT.